Hey, welcome to the Hosel Jockeys Golf Podcast. It's not the Hosel Jockeys Golf Podcast. It's the Bag Chatter Podcast. Adam's shirt threw me off. Let me try that again. Hey, welcome to the Bag Chatter Podcast. I am Brian. I am joined today by a man who chose to not wear a collared shirt to a board meeting. Adam, how you doing today?
Well, if I'd known it was a board meeting, maybe, it would have changed something. I wore a Hosel Jockey shirt that looks like a Masters shirt, to the point where they might be upset about it. You might get a cease and desist letter. But so for you to call out my clothing when it's an homage to your podcast, that feels uncalled for, honestly.
Well, I don't know if you considered this, but maybe I wanted you to mention the fact that you were wearing an article of clothing that I designed. So this was kind of a long con, which I win.
Yeah, I feel manipulated. I do, as usual.
Okay, and actually I lied already. This is not a board meeting, so you can wear whatever you want. We are going to talk some numbers today. We're going to talk numbers as it relates to our golf games and our goals. And we're going to talk some numbers about the Bag Chatter brand is what I meant to say. Hopefully in a way that's interesting. I don't know if people care about what we're trying to do with this brand. I care, and I'm pretty sure you care too.
I care quite a bit, actually. It's something I think about a lot, daily.
If you're wondering if Adam is going to stay engaged for this whole podcast, I am too. He's currently watching the Masters.
It was Tiger's putt on 18. It's Thursday. We're recording this Thursday of the Masters. Tiger's making bogey on 18. He's making me sad, but I'm going to pay attention now. I'm sorry. They can't see my eyes diverting. They wouldn't have known. You called me out.
It's true. I've called you out twice now in this podcast. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about golf numbers. Specifically, let's start with your goals, because you had a handful of goals. I know some of them really haven't come into play yet. I know at least one of them has. So refresh us again on what your goals were for the year.
So I categorized this in our initial podcast as I had a maintenance goal, I had an improvement goal, and I had a lofty goal. So my maintenance goal was that I wanted to once again be in the final group of our club championship. That's not till August, I believe, so really should have thought that goal through better. Because as far as checking in on a goal goes, that will make for one great episode in August. But that's not going to help this episode at all. So we're just going to cruise right on past that one. So my one goal I had was that I was going to have a minimum of one practice session per week in addition to the rounds of golf that we normally play. So I play golf. I have no problem getting out on the course, but fitting in those practice sessions has not always been something I was great at. And so that goal has been upped quite a bit since adding the goal. Now the ultimate goal of 2023 with my U.S. Open qualifier coming up in 1 month. It's just over a month away. So I've been doing quite a bit more than one practice session a week. This week so far I've gone and practiced putting specifically 3 separate times. And then I went and played yesterday. And I believe it was yesterday. Mm-hmm. Went and played yesterday, and even there, got there early, hit balls, putted, worked on short game. So far this year, I have been exceeding that goal.
Love to hear it.
So I do feel like I'm playing well. But I do also feel like my weakness thus far this year has been my pitching and chipping and that aspect of my short game. My putting's been okay. I feel like I've actually been striking the ball great. So in this goal, I really need to focus on in the next month on pitching and chipping. And so that's something I'm going to be looking to do in the coming weeks.
You've said this statement more than once to me in the last 2 weeks. Is it possible the only thing I'm good at on the golf course is driving the ball? Can you care to expound on that? Is that something you only feel in the heat of a round, or do you think there's some truth to that?
I think there is truth to it in the sense that I think I drive the golf ball extremely well. And I hope that doesn't sound even mildly arrogant. I think I'm a 2 handicap right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I hit the ball as far as I've ever hit it. I'm routinely hitting the ball over 300 yards. Mm-hmm. And I played yesterday and I hit like 12 of 14 fairways, and didn't have a bad miss the entire time. So I feel like if I had access to strokes gained, which I probably could, but I haven't done the work to figure this out.
Yeah.
I think I probably drive the ball like a +2 handicap. And then, nonetheless, yesterday I hit 12 of 14 greens, had wedges into every single green, and I shot 75.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, so in one sense, I'm not sure I could drive the ball better. I'm not sure, again, at the risk of sounding arrogant, I'm sure there are a couple people, an RJ Wren might challenge me on this. I'm not sure there's many people at Honeybrook Golf Course who could drive the ball better than I drove it yesterday.
Yeah.
And I shot 75.
Yeah, I play a lot of golf with you, and I will 100% back you up. I think you probably drive the ball like a +5, just because it's not only the length, but you are in the fairway more often than not. I mean, you hit a ton of good drives. So that part of the statement, I 100% back you up on. But it has been interesting to me to hear you kind of question your irons, question your putting, question your short game. It sounds like that definitely is where you need to put some work in, if you got to put work in anywhere.
And like a day like yesterday, how do you get from driving the ball that well to shooting 5 over on a not very difficult course? I actually putted pretty well. I made some long ones. I didn't miss any short ones. So it really, really is. My irons I was not getting the ball close enough to make a ton of birdie. I still made 4 birdies, so it's not like I was like not making any birdies, but I was giving away shots with short irons, wedges and short irons, not getting them close enough to have tons of good birdie looks. And then when I missed a green, I was not getting up and down.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And so I hit a number of bad chips. No 2 chips. I didn't duff one a foot.
Mm-hmm.
But routine chips that good players are often trying to make.
Yeah.
A number of them I left it at 12 feet or something stupid and missed that putt,
Yeah.
So that is a question I've had. I'm like, I don't like to think of myself that way, but when I drive the ball as well as I do when that's going well, and then don't shoot good scores and even feel like I putt well, I'm like, well, I must be doing something like a 10 handicap to get to these numbers.
This is when the Arcos people and the Golf Metrics app people are just screaming at their car stereos like, Adam, put an app on your phone. You don't even need to put the little sensors on. You can manually input this stuff. It does take some work, either during the round or after the round, for sure. So yeah, I don't know. But then again, I guess on the one hand you would say, I already know I'm a great driver of the golf ball. I already know I'm probably losing strokes in the other areas. But maybe you don't. Maybe it turns out your irons are fine and it really is around the green stuff. Or maybe your around the green stuff is actually in better shape than your irons. That's the kind of stuff that I guess you can try to go with the anecdotal evidence, but the strokes gained apps would give you more information. It just takes work and commitment to it. And I'm not 100% sure that it's the right move for everybody to make. I don't know if it is for you. I don't know if everybody wants that data. Then again, maybe what's the harm in knowing exactly where your deficiencies are?
Yeah, no, I think it would be good for me to know. I think being able to pinpoint it would let me know where to work, how to work. And I think I think it's the irons, honestly, right now. I just feel, so I did hit some bad chips, but But I feel pretty confident that with, a few hours of work, I can literally just a few hours of work, I can clean up some of that stuff and improve that. The irons this year, so I don't want to even mention this because I've told the U.S. Mid-Am story, and I've shaken this for the last few years. I hit 2 hosel shanks. And so yesterday, that is. And so on 2 par 3s, hitting 5-iron into both of them just directly off the hosel. And
both teed up?
Both teed up.
Interesting.
And so both of those were, and then I hit a lot of good irons in between there, but it's gotten me really thinking, and this is not a helpful thought because I am not buying new irons in the next month, probably not this year, maybe not next year, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But when I got fitted for my driver, I thought I hit my old driver pretty well, and then we got to Sittler Golf and had a great fitting experience that I've talked about previously with you, and all my shots, even the good ones with the driver, were heel biased. And so they got me into the right shaft with the right driver, and without changing anything in my swing, suddenly all my drives were in the center of the face, and that has carried through. That wasn't just a fitting experience. I'm crushing my driver, and so I do have to admit, as I'm hitting some heely ones, my miss is always thin, and it feels to me like it's heel thin. I'm like, I think I'm hitting them all. Even the ones I hit well are probably a little bit on the heel, and so I'm trying to stand a little further away from the ball. I'm trying to make all these adjustments. But for the first time in my life, I'm like, I wonder if these irons, though they're extra stiff, though they're all the things that I think I need, are just not the right irons for me. And I hate to even bring that up because there's probably no purpose to it. And I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses because I'm not. But I am wondering about that.
It sounds like you're talking to all of the golf brands that are listening to us right now and saying, "Hey, if you want to put me in your sticks, here I am. Come fit me."
Listen. If I have a new set of irons by the U.S. Open and I play great, I will attribute it to that. So if you want a chance for Adam qualified for the U.S. Open because we fit him with the right irons, now's the time. Get it while it's hot.
I can just hear it right now. I don't know I think it's NBC on the call. I can hear Dan Hicks just talking about and here is newcomer Adam Shorey. The crazy story we've all heard at this point. Fit into X irons, and it has revolutionized his game. He was already a prolific driver of the golf ball, but this was what he needed. Down to you, Smiley.
I really do regret being honest about my feelings about driving the golf ball. I'm being honest about my feelings about my deficiencies in other areas. But now, if I ever hit a bad drive on camera, that is fodder for everybody.
Listen, up until this point we're recording this, you are an exceptional driver of the golf ball. But going forward, who knows? Hey, last thing I'll say is that if you want to hire me to be your stats guy and to log all your distances and shots during the rounds we play, it's not going to be cheap, I'll tell you that. I'm pretty expensive, but I'm just going to throw that out there. You think about that and making that investment.
Hey, you're more than welcome. I should go back. I tried Arcos at one point. I don't want to say anything bad about Arcos. But I tried Arcos and I liked it, but I had a little issue with the putting mechanism of it. And so now that I'm really thinking about this stuff, I kind of wish I'd stuck with the Arcos a little longer.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about my golf stats.
I'm bored. Can we end this?
Can
we wrap it up?
Enough about you. Let's talk about me. My goals for the year, there were 5 of them, and they're all numbers-based, so we can talk about them all quickly. Okay. So, yeah. My first goal was 100 rounds this year, and as of the pedestrian 82 that I shot today at Wyncote Golf Club, I am at 21 rounds through April 6th.
Oh, you're well on pace.
I'm feeling great about that.
Well on pace.
The golf season just opened literally 5 days ago, so here in PA.
Yeah, the handicap season. So
Exactly.
you're 20 deep when handicap season starts. You're on pace, my friend.
Feel great. My second goal was 50 nine-holers that were in the 30s. 59 holes in the 30s. Right now, as of this morning, when I made a birdie putt on the 18th at Wyncote to shoot 39 on the back.
Wow.
Now, did I know that it was for a 39? I had no idea. But I made it anyway.
Well, means a little less, doesn't it?
Only to you. To me, it means the exact same thing. That was my 10th niner in the 30s for the year. So,
what was the number again? The goal?
trying to hit 50.
Oh yeah, you're once again on pace.
Once again, I'm on pace. So
You're exactly the same ratio on pace. So like if you just continue that percentage of rounds, you're going to be good.
Yeah, and I feel like better golf is ahead. So I'm loving that. My third goal was 25 practice sessions this year. So far, I have had 6.
Okay.
Again,
You're right on pace. Right on pace. About 20% of the way there on all of these.
My fourth goal was I want to play golf in 10 places outside of Pennsylvania. So far, I've got Florida, Mexico, Arizona, and San Diego. So
Right.
4 out of 10.
Okay.
And finally, I want to play 36 holes 5 times this year, and I have done that 0 times so far.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
It's not a goal of mine, but I've also done it 0 times. I'm willing. I'm willing. We're gonna figure this out.
We will. We just need the days to be a little bit warmer and longer, and that is happening. The only other number I'll mention with my game is 5.3, which is where my handicap is still at and will still be tomorrow, even with the 82 I shot today. I don't know exactly which scores will be dropping off next, but I do think I'm gonna need to turn it on here a little bit if I want my handicap to stay in the 5s. Is your handicap still in the mid 1s, or did it go up to 2?
No, it's not only gone up to 2. With my 75 yesterday, knocked off a good round, and I'm trending at 2.5, which is it's not concerning. I actually feel like I'm hitting the ball as well as ever in certain ways, so I feel like it's a matter of time before I put up some good rounds. But don't love it. I don't prefer it.
Yeah.
So 2.5, a slightly alarming number, especially given some of my goals this year.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so let's move from our golf games to our golf brand, to the Bag Chatter brand. We have 6 metrics. I have 6 metrics that I'm tracking. So I guess we're tracking, even though I'm tracking them. You're in on this, right?
Vaguely. I mean, you just tell me stuff, and in one ear, out the other.
Yeah, I mean, and if we want to continue tracking all these, or if we want to add stuff or take stuff away, that's part of what we're here to discuss. This is, I'd said it's not a board meeting. It sort of is like a board meeting, but we're doing it for the people. So the people are going to hear us talk about specific numbers with our brand. They're going to hear some of the infighting that we're notorious for. We are just airing our dirty laundry here.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I like this idea. I like the idea of being transparent with our numbers. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I don't hear people talk about their numbers, and I'm always curious. So, the folks listening right now, you're in on the ground floor, and in, a year when you're hearing about the hundreds of thousands of downloads we have, you'll know I was there at the beginning.
Yeah, and I do think we probably both want to put this caveat in that there is a chance that this is boring. If we thought it was definitely going to be boring, we would not be doing this. So we're hoping we can make this engaging and interesting. We're hoping that as the brand grows, these kind of conversations will be more interesting because you'll be along for the ride of the growth. But we're not doing this because we think this is going to be incredibly captivating and everything we talk about is pure gold. So
yeah,
there's a caveat. And
I'll throw in the caveat that I assume everything we do is a little boring and not that interesting. So True. This doesn't feel different for me. It just feels sort of like what we do.
Yes. That's well said. That is well said. All right. So I'm going to talk about these. I'm going to sort of rank them from least important to most important. just as I'm quickly judging them. But again, these views are mine and do not represent the views of Adam and his collarless shirt. So first, it's a great looking Hazel Jockeys t-shirt.
It's a great Hazel Jockeys t-shirt. A defunct podcast t-shirt. It's a good looking shirt. It fits well. It looks like the Masters. I'll say that again. So it felt right today.
One of the metrics we're not tracking, but maybe should, is t-shirts, Bag Chatter t-shirts. Right now there's 0, so there's nothing to track.
0 in existence.
That's right.
Not just purchased.
Yes.
In existence, 0 exists.
Exactly. There is no store at the moment.
Though, again, I'm going to say for the 17th time since we started this podcast, the two dudes period, no drip period, vibing period. I will wear that till the day I die, and it'll be great someday.
Yeah. Someday that will exist. All right, first metric is our email list. Now, I've been tracking numbers since February, so I've kind of got 3 sets of numbers. I've got where we were at February 1st, March 1st, and April 1st. And the first 2 numbers I have for the email list are 0, and then 0 again.
Okay.
But I did some... Oh, I can't remember what I did in March. I literally can't remember, but we have 57 subscribers. I think
to our email list.
To our email list, yes.
Okay.
Yes, to be clear. We're going to have more the next time we update this because we just did we're doing the Masters Challenge right now. We had just shy of 150 people enter that challenge.
Yep.
It is currently ongoing. Those people have all given us consent to send them emails. I am going to spam the crap out of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many of them are actually going to stick around, but...
I assumed we were just going to sell those emails to the highest bidder. Is that not what we're doing?
That could be another metric that we track, how much money we've made selling people's emails.
Yeah, so it's spam. That's our main goal. Add it to the goals list. How can we most effectively spam people, and how many dollars can we get for kind of sketchily selling their email addresses?
Yeah. So we're at as of April 1st, 57 emails. You might be listening thinking that is the most unimpressive number I've ever heard. I think
I'm listening and feeling that way. So
we would agree. We would agree. Okay. All right. Next metric is Instagram followers. Okay. This is Instagram. Well, I'm not going to mansplain what Instagram is, but but what I was leading to is that Instagram being a visual medium, unlike Twitter, it kind of is dependent on the videos that we're doing, right? Like, if we're not making videos, we're really not putting a ton on Instagram, maybe putting stuff on stories about upcoming podcast episodes and things like that. Anyway, when we started tracking, we were, and I'm combining your Instagram followers as well as my golf account. So if you don't follow us on Instagram, hey, this is a great place to do that. My handle is @BrianElaine and yours is?
@BagChatterGolf.
@BagChatterGolf. Are there any underscores?
There might. I think on Instagram there's an underscore before golf.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Boy, we really should have thought this through before we started recording it, shouldn't we have?
We should have thought what? The fact that you have a terrible handle?
Well, Bag Chatter Golf was not available, Brian. I didn't choose the underscore. My gosh.
It chose you.
The underscore chose me. I wasn't going to go bag_chatter. I put it in the right spot.
I think the underscore chose me is going to be the name of this episode.
That's good.
Oh, man. Okay, so here are the numbers. February 1st, we combined for 1,132 followers. March 1st, we were at 1,150 followers. We only gained 18. April 1st, 1,316 followers, a 14% growth from last month.
Look at that.
That's something.
Yeah, so I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because this talks about TikTok a little bit, but one of my most confusing things with my entire content creation experience has been the difference between TikTok and Instagram. Because in function, Instagram has additional options, so TikTok has, so TikTok, I'm going to start that sentence over. So Instagram has Reels, which are just a TikTok knockoff. They're the exact same function. And for the entire time that I've posted TikTok videos, and then in the time that we together have posted TikTok videos, I've posted most of those to Instagram. And even the wildly successful TikToks, you know, I've had some TikToks that get 2 to 3 million views and tens of thousands of likes and hundreds or thousands of comments. Those same videos will either flop entirely on Instagram, or they will actually do pretty well in terms of numbers, but not get the likes and engagement that they do on TikTok. And I'm just befuddled. I don't understand why it's so different, why a video will get, 20% of people engaging it, 20% of 2 million people engaging it on TikTok, and then get, 100,000 views on Instagram, and it has 7 likes and 1 comment. And I don't understand.
Well, let me throw even some more confusion onto here, because when I took the Hosel Jockey's Instagram handle and I converted it to Brian Lane Golf. I just changed the name. That's not really what conversion is. Anyway, when I did that in the first week of February, I also posted like 10 highlights from the last golf season. These were a few different photos and a few reels of some of the videos that we made on TikTok last year. One of them was the video of us looking for a ball in the long grass, and you saying you're playing a Titleist 2, and then I'm saying I find, a top flight or whatever it was. That was the video, right?
Right. Did very well on TikTok.
Did very well on TikTok. It was one of our better videos, I thought. I posted it February 7th on Instagram, and nothing really happened in the coming weeks. But over the last month, all of a sudden, it is, every day I'm getting 25 to 200 notifications of people liking that reel. Like every day.
I didn't know this. You didn't share with me, Brian.
Yeah.
That this has been, it's not popping. I don't think that's popping off, but it's getting some attention on Instagram.
Yeah. So here are the stats as of right now. It has been viewed 243,000 times on Reels.
You didn't tell me this?
I don't know why it just kept happening. I thought I maybe mentioned it at one point, but I guess I never actually told you. And
you did not.
To be honest, the last time I looked at that number, it was definitely below like 30K. So now it makes sense as to why over the last 3 weeks I've been getting all these notifications. It has 243,000 views. It has 3,077 likes. It has 52 comments and 254 bookmarks. And I'm just now seeing this as well. Apparently it's going on Facebook too, because Instagram and Facebook plays 1.32 million.
Brian,
and
it's a good thing we held this board meeting, because you've been withholding our most successful Instagram video from me for weeks.
But I don't know what to do with it. It has led to me adding 50 to 75 followers, maybe 100. That's where a lot of that recent growth has come from.
Have you reposted some of our other successful videos on the same account?
I posted that one February 7th. I've been posting stuff. I haven't gone back and purposefully reposted our old successful videos. No, maybe I should be doing that.
Sorry, nobody cares about your gratefulness score as much as you do.
Listen, I haven't been doing those either lately.
No, I care about your gratefulness score. 14 out of 10 at all times. But yeah, if we'd known that, I think we might have really tried to hone in on building upon that success.
Well, it's still happening. I have 240K Instagram plays, 1 million Facebook. I didn't even know about the Facebook. So apparently part of this board meeting is that I need to really get my crap together and actually be paying attention to what's happening.
I've been saying that, but...
Okay, so what do I do with this? We can talk more about it offline, but what do you think what do I need to do like in the next 7 days? Do I need to, because I already posted that first week of February, I did grab like my 4 favorite videos that we did and posted them. For some reason, this is the only one that's quote unquote popping off. So,
I think you should go to our TikTok.
Okay.
And you should take all the most popular videos from that TikTok. Did you post it? I'm curious. Did you post that video just like, is the TikTok watermark on those videos?
It is.
So it still succeeded in the Facebook and Instagram algorithm with the TikTok watermark.
Yep.
So I would go and so I think the algorithm favors accounts that have done really well. And my Bag Chatter account on Instagram has never had a video go nuts, right? Mm-hmm. So no reels, nothing. So most, since then, I don't know how many reels you've posted since then. This might, whatever you post might be the next reel you've posted. And so we need to have those be all the most popular TikToks we've ever produced. My Slice Around the World video, anything you like that we've done, anything that's ever worked just needs to go on that account for now and try to build on that success.
Yeah, I mean, also on February 7th, I posted me making a 14 using my book as a golf club. I posted my averaging 1 insult per round on February 12th. I posted your It Opens Up Over There guy on February 20th, but maybe not the Slice Around the World. So yeah.
Well, none of those videos did well. None of the ones you just mentioned did well.
Gotcha.
So like on TikTok or anything. So those flopped on every platform, which I stand by those videos. I'm not regretting making those videos in any form, but those would not be a barometer of where we stand in their algorithm because those videos didn't work. Okay. So I think we need to look at the ones that did work and see if it will directly, carry over to Instagram. That's my opinion.
All right. So I'll take that as an action item from this meeting, and I will be working on that. Let's move to. Well, this is good news. I'm happy to deliver some good news to you that I had a video pop off and
like a month and a half late, but that's fine. Better late than never, I guess.
All right. Next, Twitter. So beginning of February, we combined for 2,650 followers. On March 1st...
2650, I have like 120. So so you're carrying the lion's share of the Twitter followers, okay? We'll admit it.
Brooks Koepka and I have combined for 4 major wins.
That's right.
This is a factual statement.
That's right.
All right, so I am carrying the weight of that. Those are... Again, I took the Hosel Jockeys Instagram account that Tyler and I built, and I'm using that now as my Brian Lane golf account. But, so yeah, February 1st, 2,650 followers. March 1st, 2,620 followers. That is a loss of 30 followers.
That's not great. That's not amazing. Do you think it's because, and I haven't brought this up to you privately, so I'm going to bring it up to you publicly, obviously. You posted a 5-minute thing on the Hosel Jockeys feed, trying to push people from Hosel Jockeys into Bag Chatter, and you decided it was necessary to say that Adam is less handsome than Tyler. Now, this seemed unnecessary to me because, first of all, it's true. So it's one of those jokes where it's only mean-spirited because if we were sort of equal looking, then it would be funny. But since he probably is, it's sort of like, hey, just to warn you, Adam is less handsome than Tyler. And maybe there's a segment of the Hosel Jockeys listenership that was there for Tyler's handsomeness, and maybe those 30 people unfollowed because they didn't want a less handsome co-host.
It's all possible, for sure. What's also possible is that we just came across the actual title for this podcast episode, which is going to be Adam is less handsome than Tyler. Let me say that again. Adam is less handsome than Tyler. No, I don't think that's it at all. I think what actually happened was I just resuscitated an old half-dead account and started posting a lot, and people were like, no thank you, unsubscribe. But here's the good news. We lost 30 followers before March 1st, but by April 1st, we went from 2620 to 2800.
Okay.
So we've gained 180 followers. Between the two of us, that's up 7%, so that's the good news.
Right. Because they don't know what Tyler looks like. Those are all new people who just think I'm the only host you could get. Yes. Yeah, so that's what it is.
Listen, much like your golf game where the only thing you do well is driving, you have really great blue eyes. So
what? You are doubling down. You were like, listen, you have nice eyes and
a nice personality
and a slovenly body.
No.
Wow, this has been a hurtful board meeting. Hurtful board meeting.
For the record, I think you and Tyler are in the same handsomeness ballpark. You're right there in the same. It's really going to come down to what people prefer in their handsomeness.
Yeah, you went to Nashville with him.
And
if I was more handsome, maybe I would have gone to Nashville.
Look,
Jeez.
I went to Phoenix with you. So which city do you want to look more handsome in?
That's tough, actually. That's tough.
So the Instagram is growing. The Twitter is heading in the right direction as well. What is your handle on Twitter?
I am at AdamShorey5. Took me a second. There's no underscores. I never choose an underscore.
Do you want to throw it in there or just
brand
consistency?
At AdamShorey5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm at Brian Elaine Golf with that particular Twitter account. I do also have the Bag Chatter Golf Twitter account, which I don't know. What do you think about that? Are we confusing people having two personal accounts and one brand account? I sometimes I'll post thing on one, retweet it from the other, and then vice versa. I kind of think it's fine, but I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
I don't think it's confusing. I think it might be confusing how we're using it. So I think we would need a little bit more uniformity in what we do with it. I feel like most podcasts use just a Twitter handle that is their podcast, essentially. I feel like that is true.
Yeah,
I could be totally wrong, but
with Chasing Scratch, Mike runs the Chasing Scratch one, and then Eli has his own, but he barely tweets. With No Laying Up, Solly runs the No Laying Up one, and his tweets, when you see his tweets, it's not just an overarching brand thing. These are Solly's tweets, right. And then everybody else in No Laying Up has their own one. So it does seem to be how a few podcasts do it. But obviously I like the 2,500 plus followers that I have with my Brian Lane Golf account. Right. I could let go of the Bag Chatter Golf handle and then quickly pick it up with the Brian Lane Golf and kind of rebrand myself as Bag Chatter. That's an option. I don't know.
We want feedback on this. What do people want, Brian?
Yeah.
People don't have opinions on this, I don't think.
I don't think people have any opinions on that. All right, so we'll keep trying to put non-offensive content that doesn't shrink our bases on those. Let's talk YouTube real quick. These are maybe the most uninspiring numbers that we have to share, but February 1st, we had 57 subscribers and just over 10,000 views. A month later, we had 64 subscribers and the same number of views. And April 1st, we had 88 subscribers and 10,500 views.
We gained 21 subscribers in March.
We gained 24 subscribers in March. I've been putting, like every other podcast, I put on YouTube in video form. The reason I don't do all of them is because sometimes it's just an absolute bear to edit And basically, that's just me saying I'm lazy sometimes. But
right. Tyler's not on here. We don't need the visual medium as much, you know.
You know, the idea with YouTube was that we were going to post some of our TikTok content in the form of shorts or maybe longer videos, and also do the podcast there as well. Really, all it's been so far this year has been the podcast. We still have a brand goal that I threw out there of getting to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're headed in the right direction, but it's more of a crawl than a jog at this point.
Yeah, I think so. It's good that you've posted. So I just will often, if I like a TikTok we're putting up, I will throw it on YouTube Shorts. You've been posting those the video forms of the podcast on there, but we've put virtually zero effort into it. So we shouldn't be expecting any progress on that front. The fact that we gained 24 followers in March is shocking to me and makes me feel like, maybe we could get to 1,000 if we tried at all.
Is the massacre at Aguila Par 3 on YouTube yet?
No, it's not. I forget. I honestly have forgotten about the last two. I have them edited other than my narration. They did so, again, not to jump ahead to TikTok. They did so poorly on TikTok that I'm like, these might be algorithm killers. Like, they might just be like, these people are putting out horrible videos that nobody likes, and they're doing them in series. They're like here's a 6-part miniseries that everyone hates, but we're gonna just continue going no matter what.
It's sad but true. Well, I really want that on YouTube. I've told that to you 53 times, so I figured the only way to get you to listen to me was to actually create the idea of a board meeting podcast, just so I could, in front of other people, tell you that. No,
you could pressure me publicly to put up terrible videos that everybody hates.
Listen, at this point, I don't even care if you don't put it on TikTok. In fact, maybe I'd prefer you don't. But can we at least just finish it as a, whatever it is going to end up being, a 5.5-minute video that we can put on YouTube? I'm not saying it's going to revolutionize our YouTube either, but the more we can get on YouTube, if every time we put something on YouTube, it helps us to gain 5 followers or 10, or even if the podcast listeners know that, they can watch Brian beat Adam's brains in at a small little Par 3 course, maybe that's going to drive people to YouTube. So
it's because I couldn't use my driver. I'm only a good driver of the golf ball. That Par 3 contest ruined me. But no, I want you to know, genuinely, this has nothing to do with the fact that my apathy towards the latter part of this has not been at all because I got my brains beat in that day. I'm well over that. But it is purely because I'm like, do we even want these out there? So every time I've thought about it, I don't feel motivated to go do it because I'm like, this might be a net negative for the TikTok. And I also think for the YouTube, we can't put it on YouTube Shorts, so it's going to be a YouTube video that's shot vertically. Yeah. And so it's not going to be a very good YouTube video as well.
I'm going to then... I have a feeling you're not going to do it for YouTube unless you do it for TikTok. I know you don't want to do it for TikTok. I'm telling you now, as your boss.
Boss.
I mean,
you're like, I gave you the shirt on your back, literally.
As your peer, as your cohort in this, I do want you to finish that video series. Here's the reason why. Honestly, they're funny. Your narration on those is the perfect level of snark. Because you played really poorly in that, the self-deprecation on those is really funny to me. I think they're funny. I would share those with people. I understand they're algorithm killers. Maybe the golf TikTok doesn't want to watch a bunch of mediocre golf, but I think they're funny, and I think the listeners will agree that when you put them on TikTok and then we package them up into a YouTube and we put them on YouTube, I think people are going to think
maybe people on Twitter will like it. You can repost them on Twitter.
There you go. So what is it going to take to get you in this car?
No, I'll do it. It's just I haven't intentionally not done it. I just have. If I'm gonna do something for our brand, it's the last thing I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather do anything else than. But I do have those videos edited up. I've got them together. I've got them clipped together, so I can in 20 minutes. Not 20 minutes from now, but in 20 minutes of total investment, narrate those and get them on. Onto TikTok, and then we can do whatever we want with them. So that 800 more people can view them, and 2 of those people can like them.
How about this? We're at 88 YouTube subscribers right now.
Yeah.
Will you commit that if we can get to 100 YouTube subscribers, when we do that, then you will have that video? You'll put that video.
No, I'll do it regardless. I'm gonna, because again, it's not difficult for me to narrate those at this point. The work is done. I just hate them so much that I don't feel the motivation, and then we can string them together however we want. That's fine.
Okay.
So that's easy. I don't need a number goal like we're a PBS fund drive for
that's
this.
Fine.
But
I was trying to compel the listeners to give us a follow on YouTube.
Oh, hey guys, follow us. Sorry, that's my bad.
I could have just said, hey, if you're on YouTube, just click subscribe.
You need to get better at this, because offering people our worst performing videos in the history of TikTok as a reward for following us is actually pretty bad marketing.
Listen, I don't trust the TikTok algorithm, and we'll get to this in a second, but I'm not going to decide what's good and what's bad just based off of what hits on TikTok.
No,
we'll talk about that in a second. Before we get to TikTok, quick note about the podcast. That's another metric that we're following here. February 1st, we had 0 episodes and 0 downloads. It really is hard to have downloads when you have no episodes. So
yeah, we would have been way ahead of the game if we'd had even 10. It would have been fine.
By March 1st, we had posted our first episode. So we had 1 episode up on March 1st, which had a 48 download total. Which is infinite growth, I think, from 0 to 48.
Yeah, and if we could keep up that pace, the infinite pace, we're going to do just fine, my friend.
By April 1st, we had 6 total episodes up and 2,100 downloads. So,
not infinite, but good.
But pretty good. So yeah, that was essentially the first month of the podcast. 6 episodes. 2,100 downloads, right around 250, 300 downloads per episode. I don't know what you thought going in, but I'm pretty excited about that start.
I'm excited about it, and I am more excited than I thought I would be if you mentioned those numbers, because I'm going to mention this. I don't know if it's stupid to mention this, but you sent me a Chartable. Is a website that tracks podcasts, and we at one point, I think it was after our 4th episode, we peaked at number 22 in the world among golf podcasts. And I don't know. Does that mean by download in the month? What does that mean?
Right.
The momentum we're gaining. Did they take our infinite growth and be like, "Ooh, look where this is going"? But I actually was like, okay, we were ranking in, I think, in terms of downloads, and with some other podcasts that I've seen and listened to and am familiar with, and I'm like, this feels like a starting place, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah. I don't know if you had seen this on Chartable, but we were actually peaked at number 4 in the podcast with 2 co-hosts, but one of them is ugly category. So that was... I'm the ugly one, Adam. I'm the ugly one. That's
what was number 3? How did we not win?
Well, I don't want to throw Chasing Scratch under the bus. No, those are 2 very handsome guys, Mike and Eli. Very handsome.
Rob Lowe and his son just launched a podcast, so one of them.
All right, so yeah, we don't have to say much more about the podcast. Hopefully, those numbers will keep growing, and we will keep y'all updated at our next board meeting. That gets us to our final metric, which is TikTok. This is the platform that we came in with the most momentum, I guess you would say, the best numbers. A lot of that has to do with the work that you've done in the last couple of years, building that channel. On February 1st, the Bag Chatter Golf TikTok had 19.2 thousand followers and 954,000 likes. I don't know how many views. We'll get to that in a second. By March 1st, that was up to 19.7 thousand followers and 984,000 likes. And by April 1st, we had hit 20,000 followers and we were at 992,000 likes. So pretty great numbers and steady growth, at least through April 1st. And the views number is even bigger, right?
Yeah, so in 2022, we had between 30 and 35 million views on those videos.
Yeah. So that's great. We'll keep tracking those numbers. We keep hoping that they grow, but I think on the negative side, we haven't done a ton of TikTok stuff, but everything we've done has pretty much fizzled and not been great.
Yeah, since the new year, I believe that's not fully true. So okay. I got really excited in January about this. This was before we even launched the podcast, because one thing I was very unapologetic about when I started this TikTok account, originally Snow or Shine Golf, now converted to Bag Chatter Golf, was I was really working the algorithm a bit. And I really was focused heavily on what gets attention immediately, how quickly can I do something interesting, how can I do that efficiently, essentially. The attention span is low. Mm-hmm. And so, I did a lot of that and built up a decent following and had a lot of really popular videos. And then you and I branched into some of the more skit type stuff, like the ball search video that you talked about earlier. Then I got really excited. It was half us just testing out some equipment for the podcast. We put up a couple videos where we were drafting golf brands. We were drafting our favorite golf courses, and those did pretty well despite being 3-minute long videos. So they were not exposing the TikTok algorithm at all. They were actually getting viewership and engagement despite the fact that they were dialogue heavy. And so that really excited me. It made me feel like we were maybe rounding a corner in terms of what we could do on TikTok and build a brand that wasn't as flashy and was a little bit more in depth about whatever we wanted to talk about. Since then, we haven't been putting up 3-minute videos, but we have been putting up 30-second to 60-second videos, and they are flopping. Nothing in there has worked. We put up the one video where there were 2 holes in the green, and, would this count as a hole in one if it went in? That got huge engagement, but that was more the can we catch your attention in 10 seconds version of things.
Catch your attention by destroying our credibility.
It's not true. It's a skit, Brian. It's a skit.
For those of you keeping score at home, I didn't like the fact that we had this video where, a lot of courses in winter sometimes will have 2 different holes and you move the flag to the other hole after you play the hole. So we did this quick little skit where it looked like Adam had made a hole in one, but in the wrong hole. And off camera, I'm like, did it go in? And that was the whole point of it. And there was a part of me that didn't like the fact that we were making it look like you got a quasi hole in one.
I also made a video where it looked like I hit a golf ball into orbit and it rotated the earth and came back in the other side of the golf course to hit the fairway. But I didn't do that, Brian. That was actually special effects, if you can believe that.
I realize that, but there were no special effects in this one, and that was the point. It was made to look like it was real.
All right. Well, Martin Scorsese's the biggest liar ever. That guy is making whole stories that aren't true. Can you believe that?
I'm looking through our TikTok right now. So we did it opens up over there video.
Yeah, nothing.
That ended up 1,500 views. We did I entered a U.S. Open qualifier video, got to 13,000 views.
Which was fine for a longer form video. I actually felt decent about the engagement on that.
Yeah, the hole-in-one question mark video got 230,000 views, so that's pretty great. The Aguila Massacre Part 2, 1,300 views. Your bifurcation thoughts, about 2,000 views. Overly eager golf tip guy. That was one that we had fun doing. It only got to about 4,000 views.
Yeah. So here, I'm going to say here, so I've been concerned about TikTok lately because we are doing some of the longer things, but there were certain benchmarks that I knew whether a video was going to succeed in the first hour previously. So if it hit, if it hit 10% views on its way to or 10% engagement on its way to 500 views, I knew it was going to get 2,000 views. And if it got 10% engagement through 2,000 views, I knew it was going to get 50,000 views. It was just predictable.
Yep.
And now some of these longer videos, I think a couple of these videos, so like I think that video you just mentioned, the overly eager golf tip guy, where we're shouting at each other, I think there was a point when that had so it got to 4,000. I think at 1,500, it had 20% engagement, which to me is like, oh, we're on record pace. This thing should explode. And it just didn't.
Yeah, right now it has 500 likes out of 4,000 views.
Right, so it didn't maintain the 20%, but it's well over 10%, and which in my experience means it's going to get seen by a lot of people. And maybe it's because it's longer, so maybe a higher percentage of people are cutting it off before it finishes, and that's hurting us in the algorithm. But for whatever reason, certain videos that as it's growing, am expecting, to explode are just not, and it's a little concerning.
The other one we posted was my club drop breakdown.
Yeah. Another one that did really well by percentage.
Yeah.
The likes are very good on that, but
it's got 10% right now, 1,200 views. 130 likes, but didn't take off.
I don't know.
So we're gonna try to we'll try to keep figuring that out. I did also want to mention we attempted a hole-in-one video.
Yeah.
Do you have regrets, or would you have done anything differently?
I don't have regrets. I think I maybe underestimated. I did think that there was a really high likelihood that we would make one in the amount of time that we spent.
Yep.
So I kind of was falling back on I don't know exactly what this video is going to look like, but I think we're going to make one. And we did come really, really, really close a number of times. So when we then failed, I realized I have given myself the most tedious and Herculean editing task of all time. Not of all time, but for that we've ever taken on, certainly. Where it was we had 4 camera angles, and the nature of these camera angles were just, hour-long shots of different angles of this hole. Editing those together is going to take hours and hours and hours and hours, because you have to find one shot and then go to another file that's an hour long, find that exact shot. And, they're not all timed up together. There's no easy way to... It's going to take forever. I still intend to, at some point, make something out of that footage. But we didn't give ourselves any easy content out of it.
Yeah. It's we ended up, 180 total shots we took on this par 3. We were set up at basically 150 yards, the 8th hole at Honeybrook. And it started off promising. I took the first 20 shots. I had a couple that were inside 3-4 feet, I think, right?
No, inside 1 foot.
Inside a foot.
You had 2 that were 10 inches away, finished 10 inches away, and fully had a chance, tracking and all that.
Yeah, and then we had quite a long stretch in the middle where we forgot how to play golf, and then near the end, you hit a few good ones. You were hitting these low little punch 7-irons, and it was fun, but it would have been a lot more fun had we actually holed one.
That is where the "Is Adam only a good driver of the golf ball" was born this year, because I stood there and hit a lot of 9-irons, and I feel pretty confident standing over a 9-iron as a general rule. I'm I should hit the green with this, and I hit an alarming number of bad shots. An alarming number. So where I was oh wait, why would I expect to hit a good shot if over this sample size I'm hitting this many bad shots?
Yeah. Well, I would, yeah, I do hope we make a video out of that. I suppose at the end of the day, the only footage that we took out of all that is the footage of a handful of shots landing close and rolling closer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it almost doesn't even matter if you match it up with the right swing from the other camera angle.
No, that's true. And I will work on that.
Because we were at 150 yards, the way the sun was, it was like I almost couldn't even tell that.
Yeah.
I knew those were close, but I couldn't tell how close. So you're not even getting like amazing reactions from the person on the tee box. So
they would have been amazing if you could have seen it. Your reaction would have been amazing.
All right, so those are the metrics, and that covers things we're doing with video, with audio here in this podcast, with our witty pros on Twitter. I guess going forward, as the golf season, the handicap season is now open, the days are longer, the weather's getting warmer. Just at a really high level, you've got your U.S. Open qualifier coming up. Do you want to spend a bunch of time on the golf course goofing around and trying to make people laugh? Or is that for later in the year, or can we do both?
We can do both, first of all. So I am very committed to this podcast right now. I think that's really got me going. I am slightly discouraged on the TikTok stuff, but never going to give up on that, because I have had swoons in that TikTok experience. And that is where the numbers are there. And that will be, if nothing else, an advertising tool for this podcast. And so, yeah, the beauty of everything we're doing is that we are documenting what we already do. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, there might be, I don't know what the percentage would be. There might be a slightly higher percentage of rounds in the coming month leading up to this qualifier where I'm like, yeah, I'm not really focused on recording right now. But at the same time, I view all of that as, a form of content creation, even the qualifier itself. So I'm excited to do that for all the personal reasons that you've known me for years and have known that this is something I've always wanted to do. But documenting that journey is a huge part of doing that. So yeah, I think we can pretty seamlessly do all of it at once.
Okay. Last thing I have, and then we'll get out of here unless you have anything else. I feel like we hit this sweet spot at the end of 22 where we were going out, we were kind of just messing around on the golf course. Golf season was really winding down, and we were just having fun. We hadn't felt like Bag Chatter was in the process of going from this idea to like, hey, wait, maybe we have something here. And I don't know if those are just like prime. If that was a prime recipe for great creativity, or if those were the best ideas that we had and now we're all out of them, or what. I feel like we haven't hit the speed slot of creativity, if you will, like we have in the past. Are you worried about that at all? Do you feel like St. Andre has taken all of the funny golf ideas and there's nothing left for anybody else?
No.
Okay.
And I don't feel like we've hit a dearth of creativity. Okay. Because again, we've pretty admittedly been pretty focused on launching this podcast for the last couple months. And so anything we're going to do outside of that is kind of secondary for the moment, at least.
Yeah.
While we try to get this off the ground. And so I do feel like we're not spending the time thinking about TikTok ideas like we did last fall. We would text back and forth. Lots of those ideas came to be just on the course. Lots of them we texted back and forth about. And generally for texting right now or sending each other Marco Polos, they're generally something about the podcast. And I think that's where our focus needs to be right now. But I do think that if we used up anything, I kind of had a slight form of video that I used. And then when you came in, we kind of, collaborated. And I do think we played out to a decent extent the easy ideas using that form of video. Mm-hmm. So those were pretty quick, catchy, do them as fast as you can. They were, some of them were 30, 40 seconds, but they were shorter videos based on dialogue around one golf idea. And I do feel like we took the 6 or 7 obvious ones that we've talked about a lot and did them. When you mentioned St. Andre, one thing I've realized, my video editing capabilities are much higher than they were even 1 year ago. Like, dramatically so. And so it does change for me. I think that the answer to this question is really that we need to think in different terms about the types of videos we're doing. We need to think, we really need to visualize what we're doing, and most of these ideas are going to be things that we don't think of on the golf course, but that we think of ahead of time and execute pretty specifically. Which I like better anyway as an idea, to be perfectly honest. But watching a St. Andre and now knowing how to do a lot of different things that I couldn't have done a year ago without a huge learning curve, I think we're going to probably tend to lean away from the types of videos we've made in the past, and have it be something slightly different and I believe higher quality.
Okay. That makes me feel good. We do have 11 minutes of footage on my phone of us trying to come up with animal-related driver compliments. Well, yeah. Is that something that I should just put on YouTube without editing?
Not without editing. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that. Nobody should see that without editing. But yeah, you have my permission to do whatever you like with that footage.
Okay, maybe I'll post it on YouTube and be like, hey guys, this is what it looks like when Brian has an idea that we all kind of know is terrible, but he makes us do it anyway. Yep. And then this is the resulting footage.
It was fun. We laughed. We had a good time.
We did laugh.
I'm not sure it's good content, but it is funny to us.
All right. Well, hey, Adam, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come to this meeting. I think we both have some action items. I think we've got a little bit better idea of where we've been and where we're going. So
we lost our whole listenership as we talked about podcast numbers, but no. Thank you for your time, Brian. Thank you for all you do for this podcast. I'm having a blast, and I can't wait to do it more.
I completely agree. Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned. You are dismissed.